Now the GN shields, which are shown here, are pretty nice themselves. And if you take a good look, the GN shields actually have an inner frame themselves, aside from the white armament here. Now the GN shield does have two cool gimmicks. Once you place the armament part here, the armament part, which is blue, actually comes with two peg-like hinges inside, molded inside of it. You can actually position them further up or further down. Another nice thing is this white armament part here. If you take a really good look, you can actually pull it down and extend it to give it a more elongated look. Now there are two pegs located inside the the GN shield here. This mode is actually when you plan on inserting it into the binders. And yes, these shields can be carried on the binders. As well as you have another peg in here. If you flip it up, you can actually insert these into the binders of the 00. And also, this peg position here is actually when you place it inside the arm of the 00. Now to make the shield, you would actually take one of these pegs and flip them out in the upper area. Leave one of these pegs flipped down and place it in here like so. Now depending where you want to attach either or peg, you can actually attach the lower peg here into the arm, or leave that flipped in and flip out the other one and attach it in the upper part. I do like the GN shield. It looks pretty nice. Again, sleek design. I really like the point that Bandai did make with making it more sleek, making the 00 Rising more sleek and more uniform look. Really nice. I hope they tend to make more model kits like this. Now for the GN swords, or the GN swords 2, which are shown here. Now the reason why I still have this peg thing here is it does come off, but this connection is so tight that it actually pulls off the other piece that looks like this, which is connected to it. See if I can get that off at all. So as you can see here, oh, actually it didn't come off this time. Well, normally it's a very tight fit and it'll actually pop off every now and then, but this actually holds the GN Sword 2s in the side skirt. So make sure when you clip that out you don't lose it. Now, this is the GN Sword mode. It can also be turned into, I guess you could say, the GN Machine Gun or GN Rifle mode by flipping down this back handle here. Now once you flip down that back handle, this handle you can actually have kept out, just like in this series, or you can actually form it downwards just like that. But it's still, then again, this serves no purpose on the model kit because it doesn't even peg into the hole that's in the upper forearm of the model kit. Now the front piece here, as you can see on the GN Sword 2, can actually be detached to form the actual GN rifles. Now one thing that I noticed Bandai did was they gave these some sort of, in the mold, a kind of hinge thing going on here, which is pretty cool, but really in the sense of things, it would have been better without it. That way you wouldn't have to pull this out of here and put it back in. Instead of just pulling it out, if they had lift these little hinge pieces out here, it would have been easier to just turn this around and then place it, and then leave it in that position instead of pulling it all the way out. But once you pull that out, put this back in here, you now have the GN rifles. Now the swords do give the 00 some uniform definition and depth, just like the Master Grade Exia did when you placed all 7 swords on it. Now for one of the greater weapons the 00 did wield, the Jian Sword 3. Now the reason why the Jian Sword 3 was actually made in the series was, if you guys witnessed, when the 00 did not have this weapon, or this weapon wasn't actually made just yet in the series, it had the two Jian Sword 2 swords. Sorry, that's a tongue twister. And with those swords, it would actually make the riser, or I guess the O riser, which is a sword-like beam. Now with this Jian Sword 3, this actually harnesses that O riser mode. So instead of using the binders and combining the binders with the Jian Sword 2s, it actually can make the O riser sword through using the Jian Sword 3, harnessing the full power of the O riser sword. Now the O riser sword, as you can see, the Jian Sword 3, as you can see, has some points of articulation, such as in here. The handle doesn't move all that much, maybe like so and like so, to give it some sort of positioning when you place it in the hand. Most of it does look like in your frame, but this is the front piece of the Jian Sword 3. There's also a peg in here. When you flip this peg out here, this peg is actually used to connect into a bigger chunk of plastic, which you connect underneath the O riser to connect this to the O riser. And when you flip this forward, you would have it connected to the O riser underneath, giving you the Jian Sword 3. Now the Jian Sword 3 is just about the same length just about the same height in size of the 00, if not a little bit shorter. Now this sword also does give a nice uniqueness and coolness, if you want to say, to the 00. Now the backpack of the 00 actually is the big setup of the mobile suit itself. Now if you take a real good close look, here you have a binder here and a binder here. These two open cavities is where the Jian drives or Jian condensers would be placed, and there's a very unique backstory on the condensers. Now you have two arms, or mechanical arms, that hold these binders. You also have two hinges, which are located here and one on the other side there, which actually give the backpack some more stability when holding the binders. So if you were to place them in this position and pull these out to here, they would actually stay here and stay in this position like so. I also like the backpack because it's a very nice, sleek, and unique design. And also, if you take a look in the upper area here, aside from the binders, is a gimmick such as, it's kind of like, I would say, a stopping point. So once you place the binders and have the Jian or drives or condensers in the binders, it might become a bit, you might have some weight issues, and it tends to fall down like so. What these little peg-like things do is, once you place them in this position and have the binders on, you will push these forward like so, revealing that little stopper there and preventing it from going any further but that point. I'm really glad that Bandai did add that in there. It's pretty cool. Alright, now that we've gone over all the parts, weapons, and the O-Riser, we're going to go ahead and assemble the double O-Riser. So to start off with, we're going to go ahead and connect the backpack. Okay, now we've connected the backpack to the double O. It actually looks a little bit more bulkier and wider. So being already that this model kit is actually a very skinny mobile suit, with the backpack on, showing off those binders, actually gives it a bit more bulk. Now let's go ahead and put on some of the weaponry, or actually all of the weaponry. Now the 00 is really starting to widen out. With the 2 GN swords and the GN Sword 3, this mobile suit is looking like one not to be reckoned with. Go ahead and get a side shot there. Quick rear view. Remember how I said before with the Master Grade Exia, how without the weapons, it doesn't seem like the model has any depth to it? Now with these swords placed onto the model, it actually brings it out even more. So let's go ahead and make the final assembly, which is the O-Riser, the big moment of it all. Now first things first, remember when assembling the O-Riser to the back, make sure that the peg is set in its outward motion and the hole is clear for the peg to be placed. Now remember for the binders, this chunk of plastic here, you want to go ahead and push down and then open it up like so, revealing the peg like clip inside. Now once you got that out, you're going to go ahead and flip it around and place the back part of this piece onto that peg. Once that's placed on there, you go ahead and connect it back to the binder. Make sure you line up the holes like that, push upwards to lock it in place. Then all you do is you go ahead and you place it on the GN binder. Well, there it is, guys. Everything placed on the 00 riser, and it holds everything perfectly fine. I didn't find any weight issues, and I'm pretty sure that's somewhat to do with the painting, because remember, when you paint and you do paint some joints and areas, they do tend to stiffen up or tighten up. Some areas you want to mask off because you don't want them too stiff or too tight, because then you get really an unmovable model, unless that's what you were aiming for in the first place. But other than that, this 00 model kit does hold all its armaments and weaponry. As you can see, the GN shields, the binders, as well as the GN binders. And like I said before, there might be a little bit of weight issues with the binders going on the GN binders, but again, the little nudge up top right here will actually fix that issue, especially when you pose it in, I guess, a mid-air flight, if you want to say. So my final thoughts and overlook and view of this model: I loved building it, I loved painting it. It looks great painted, it looks great put all together and assembled. I mean, you could not really ask for a better 00 model kit than this. Quanta is my next project I want to go ahead and do, but I still feel I'm gonna do some other projects before I get started on 00 Quanta Master Grade. And I still want to revisit the Master Grade Exia. I'm thinking about getting the repair to finish off this whole line, because you just can't have one and not have the whole line. And for all you 00 fans out there, this model kit is for you. If you're looking for a model kit to finish off a collection, if you're looking for one because you want the 00 riser because you've seen the series and it was just great, then this is for you. It doesn't matter if you're one that already has done Master Grade Quanta. Yes, Master Grade Quanta is along the same side and build as the 00 riser, but then again, it's just not the whole set without all three. The Exia does differ in certain ways from the 00 riser, but between 00 riser and the 00 Quanta, you're basically dealing with the same inner frame, just maybe a different torso piece. But other than that, again, the model kit just looks great. And this is even without the armor parts on. Can't wait to slap that on. So you guys, thank you for watching my channel. Stay tuned, because coming up next in my last and final video of this guy will be the armament parts all placed on and everything, because I finished them all. They're all finished painting. I just wanted to show you guys the inner frame of this model and how great it was. So again, thank you guys for watching, and peace.
she